Hi, hi, Grandboys. It's Grandpa. So I wrote you this Christmas story for Christmas, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called Harry's Christmas Week, and so school that day seemed like a blur, and the clock couldn't get to 2:35 fast enough for Harry. He had big plans for that day. Other than the start of Christmas vacation at Lincoln Elementary School, according to the local weatherman Tom Skilling, there was a 30% chance of snow. Harry has already made big plans of going to the railroad freight station to gather materials to build a sled. The banana crates unloaded from the incoming trains, made with thin slices of warped wood and baling wire, would make the perfect base for the sled, and finding a couple scraps of steel for the rails would make the fastest sled on the hill. Harry, said the teacher, as Harry was dreaming. Class is dismissed, you can go. Harry ran from the door as fast as his legs would carry him, and he made it to the freight yard in record time, and there he found a pile of banana crates stacked in a burn pile. Harry looked through all of them very carefully, picking like he was picking a book at a library, paying close attention to the condition of the wood around for just the right one. Having found the perfect banana box, he set out looking for a scrap of steel. He found it difficult to drag the banana box around and carry his backpack. So he set his backpack on a caboose and the closest train, being very careful to brush the snow from the caboose. Thinking to himself, I wonder if we're going to get this kind of snow. Maybe this train was in the North Pole to get this so much snow. So on went Harry on his search for the metal that would make the perfect rails. After scouring the railroad station with very little luck, Harry suddenly spotted it. Sitting on the porch of the railroad office porch was an old metal chair with perfectly chromed curved legs. The chair was old and faded by the sun, and there was a small tear in the seat, but the fact that it had a swivel base for steering and shiny chrome legs made it oh so valuable. How will I get it there? He thought. If I wait till the train is leaving the yard, the office will empty and I can make my move. Harry didn't have to wait long before he heard the chug of the train engine starting, preceded by the parade of two fat, large men coming out of the office station. Now, said Harry, as he made his way to the porch, and he pulled the chair down towards the back of the building. Working fast, he tied the banana crate to the top of the chair and with his shoestrings, and fastened his belt around the base so he could pull it home. As he started his journey for home, Harry remembered his backpack, and as he looked back, he saw where the caboose was parked. It was no longer there. At home, he stashed his treasures behind the house in the abandoned chicken coop, and ran in the house to see what was for supper. Mom was cooking bean soups with ham and carrots, and Harry couldn't be happier. It was one of his favorites. As he ate the bean soup, stopping only to occasionally stick a chunk of ham in his pocket, he could hear the weatherman Tom Skilling in the background. Now there was a 40% chance of snow. Harry knew he had a full day's work ahead of him, so he prepared for bed. Mom called out, It's going to be cold on the back porch tonight, Harry. We'll leave the kitchen door open. Will you need another blanket? No, Harry said. I already have 3. Harry went to the enclosed porch and kicked off his slippers and crawled under a mountain of covers on his bed. He used his hand to scrape the ice from the inside of the window, and he could see the light attached to the outside chicken coop. So if it began to snow, he would see it falling. About the time the heat from the inside of the house began to warm up the blankets, Chester the rat, who had inhabited the old chicken farm, began to make his long journey to Harry's bed. But he didn't mind sharing his room with Chester. The extra heat in the bed was welcome on a cold night. "I have something for you," Chester said. "Some ham from Mom's bean soup. I would have got you some beans, but I can't stand the smell of rat farts." Chester ate the ham and looked at Harry with love. Chester, the weatherman says there's a 40% chance of snow. I got all this stuff to build a great sled. I think 40% chance is really good. I could look it up in my math book, but I think it's on its way to the North Pole," said Harry. Chester crawled towards the end of the bed, laying down, exposing his fat tummy full of holiday ham. Harry awoke to a cold and excited rat wearing a cap made of snow. Harry scraped the window and he could see Christmas Eve had come in with a winter storm as promised. As Harry rushed to get dressed in the warmest clothes, eager to get working on it, he grabbed a warm biscuit off the stove and tossed half of it to Chester. As Harry was out working to dismantle the railroad chair and prepping the wood, Chester lingered into the kitchen to see if he could squeeze out a second helping of breakfast. Chester was already halfway down the counter with another white flaky biscuit when Harry heard Mother scream, "Rat!" Chester got stalled by a couple of ninja moves by Mom's broom while Dad loaded the shotgun. Chester was too fat to scurry in those days, and he was an extremely overweight rat. When Harry heard the shotgun explode, he ran for the house, but by the time he got to the kitchen, the room was painted with exploded grape jelly and biscuits and remnants of a leftover Denver omelet. Harry couldn't imagine such a fat rat surviving 4 blasts of a shotgun. Harry was quiet as he helped his mother clean up the mess. Harry ate dinner that night, sticking French fries in his pocket, just in case his old friend came to bed. As he prepared for bed, he took the tape, bandages, and some antiseptic cream on a tissue, hoping that Chester was just wounded. Harry curled up in bed and waited for Chester, but he never came. Christmas morning brought more snow, but Harry just couldn't seem so excited. When he came into the main house, his sisters were already unwrapping gifts. Harry unwrapped his presents. Inside were socks, a harmonica, and a used model train. More than a normal Christmas, but Harry couldn't get over the somber feeling of losing Chester. Harry bundled up for sledding with his new socks, grabbing a candle for the sled's final touch. With biscuit in hand, he made his way to the chicken coop, and there on the sled was a smiling fat rat. "Chester," Harry yelled excitedly, "are you ready to go sledding? Because that's what friends do." He tossed Chester half a biscuit. Harry took off his shoe and cut a sweater out of one of his new socks, and off they went to a happy Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, boys.